Hi, everyone. Welcome to Discover Your Voice and Be Understood. So go ahead and come on, pop on, and just you can type in the chat box and let me know where you're coming in from. I'm in beautiful Los Angeles, California. It's hot and sunny today. Let me know where you're tuning in from. This is Susie Q, by the way. Ooh, cold Minnesota. Yikes. Well, I'm sending you some sunshine, Sarah. I hope you can feel it. Let's see. Ooh, Nova Scotia, Halifax, welcome. Hi, Andy from London. Welcome, everyone. Please I appreciate your patience while I see if I can work out a little technical difficulty, and we'll get rolling in a minute, even if I can't get it figured out. Okay, great. Welcome, everyone. So I'm so happy to have you here and tuning in from all sorts of different places in the world, which is super exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. All right, so welcome to Discover Your Voice and Be Understood. Learn practical tools to speak up, listen deeply, and get your message across. I am your host, Susie Q. So lovely to have you here. Now, I'm really excited to share the content with you that's actually transformed my life. And so I want to show you how it can help transform how you communicate too. Now, after 2 decades of working with superstars in the entertainment industry, I danced and choreographed, and I'm happy to bring you the tools and modalities that supported me through that entire journey, because it was pretty challenging at times working in the entertainment industry. And so here you can see that I've worked with some really amazing superstars. I worked with Pink, and I also worked with Madonna, and I learned a lot. This was from about 17 years ago now. And what's really fun is that I'm actually virtually on tour with Madonna right now as we speak. She's touring and she's playing the video, the American Life video that I performed in. And that's me on the big screen behind her, which is, I feel very honored to still have a place in her show. Now, you might be wondering why I'm sharing my history of being in the entertainment industry with you. And well, it's because if I hadn't begun my search for something more, I would probably be a very sick and unhappy person today. So what I first found that helped me deal with the ups and downs of the industry was Kundalini Yoga. And it literally saved my life. So I was partying at an unsustainable rate, and Kundalini really helped me turn it all around. And now I've been practicing for 19 years and instructing for 12 and coaching. And I studied under Gurmukh Karkhalsa, who is a world-renowned teacher. She was my lighthouse calling me home, and I thank her often for her guidance. I'm so blessed to have had her guiding light in my life at such a young age. I was 23 when I first started practicing. And she has written this beautiful quote about me: Susie Q approaches Kundalini with reverence, commitment, and humor. I've watched her grow and transform over the years into a powerful and inspiring leader. She shines radiantly as a beacon of light for the Kundalini practitioners and all of humanity. I highly recommend Susie Q. She is one of the best teachers to come out of Golden Bridge Yoga. I'm so honored to have my teacher write such a beautiful explanation of my journey. So along with my dive into Kundalini Yoga, I started reading any and every book I could get my hands on that would help me gain a new perspective and knowledge in communication, meditation, conscious awakening, and spiritual life hacks. But back then, they weren't called spiritual life hacks or life hacks at all. So of course, the first few pivotal books in my life were The Alchemist. Have any of you read The Alchemist? And just go ahead and type in. I'd love to hear if you've read that book before. And if not, I highly, highly recommend it. And then also, and The Alchemist is by Paulo Coelho. And oh yes, we've read that. Some of you have read The Alchemist. That's awesome. So the other book that really transformed my life quite quickly was Neale Donald Walsch's Conversations with God. And what's really fun is one of my friends recently did an interview with him. So it's just such a small world, how the people that really transform your life, they really can be just, you know, a few degrees of separation away from you. And really, we're all connected anyway. So in my last interview series, I had the honor of interviewing some of my more recent favorite authors, John Gray and Alison Armstrong. John Gray wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and he has a new book out called Beyond Mars and Venus. And Alison Armstrong wrote The Queen's Code, which absolutely transformed how I speak to and relate to men forever. And it's really supported me on my path of growth and communication. So if you didn't get to see those interviews, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the opportunity to right here. I'm gonna put it in the chat box. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can just go to speakersecrets.com and put your speakersecretsseries.com and put your name and email in there, and you can watch those interviews. So, all right, so enough about me. I want to know about you and what you think about communication. So I have a few questions for you. So who agrees that awareness is paramount in communication? You can just go ahead and write in the chat box. It's fun to, you know, if you're driving or you're doing something where you can't be involved, I totally get it. I listen to webinars and can't always be present like I'd like to be, but if you can be present, I'd love to hear from you. So, okay, great. Yeah, welcome. And do you feel that listening is a key factor in conversation? And do you think that it takes courage to ask for what you need? Like, it takes courage. You know, sometimes it's like, ooh, how do I do that? And do you think that some type of meditative practice can support healthy communication? Yes, okay, great, awesome. Now this is a big one. Do you think that sharing your authentic self creates fulfilling connections when you actually share your authentic self and you don't hide who you are? Great, yes, awesome. I love all these answers coming in. Yes, it feels so good. Yeah, it feels good to just be yourself and not have to be concerned. Okay, so now I want to get clear on some things before we move on. Just want to get real clear. I know when we think about communication challenges, it often involves another person that we're having a problem with, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not about them. You can't do anything about them. You can only be responsible for yourself. Okay, and that's actually good news. It's actually good news. But I'm gonna break that down for you just a little bit, right? And this is something that really helped me. Responsible, able to respond, the ability to respond. That's what being responsible is. Because when I got that, it was like this huge epiphany for me. And it took the burden off of the word responsibility. You know, like, oh, I'm responsible, I have to do this thing, you know? It was like, oh, I have the ability to respond. That's powerful. It's so powerful. So it put the power back into my own hands, and I invite you to let it do the same thing for you. Okay, now check it out. We're going to talk about excuses, okay? This is also not about excuses today. So, or you could say reasons, which I feel that reason is just a really dressed up word for excuses. So if you find yourself going into a story why the communication breakdown happened, just stop it. Yeah, I don't know if you opened my email a month or so ago. I sent a link to one of my favorite Bob Newhart clips, and it's, if you just YouTube Bob Newhart Stop It, it's a really great little transformative piece that you can take in your pocket, and it's funny, but stop it, okay? We're just gonna stick to the facts. And for the rest of the webinar, I'm asking you to recognize any excuse that comes up for you and just set it aside. Yeah, just set it aside for the rest of our time together. And maybe your entire life, but for sure, just the rest of the webinar. Can you do that? Are you with me? Indeed, awesome. Good to have you here. Okay, great. So now it's time to get creative. We're gonna get creative here, now that we've cleared up all of that. Imagine having the confidence, courage, and tools to ask for what you need. Get really present to that. How does that feel? Imagine actually being understood by your partner, boss, parent, or child, or even just the person at the checkout counter, you know, just being understood. Imagine being able to calm your mind and feel more connected to your body. Well, sometimes we get all up in our head and it's like spinning, spin, spin, spin. We're going to give you something here to help you bring it down and get connected. And imagine feeling like you can be your true self around other people. You don't have to hide anything. You just get to be you. You don't have to apologize for that. You never have to apologize for being yourself. Now just close your eyes for a moment and contemplate those things. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. And just get present to how good that feels, you know, having confidence and courage, being understood, being calm and in your body, and being able to just be yourself. And if that feels good, you can just kind of come out of your little state and pop a little yes in the chat box so I know you're not sleeping. All right, so we are going to head into new possibility. So what if there was a specific formula, like specific steps, so that you could gain clarity? And what if there was a technique that I could show you so that you could understand and be understood? What if there was an exercise, a yoga posture, because that's what works for me and what has transformed my life, and I want to share that with you. Now, what if there was this yoga posture that could ignite your courage and help you stand up for yourself in communication? Would that be super cool? Is that something you would like to know? And what if there was a mudra or a hand posture that could calm emotional stress, that could create cosmic connection? Now, I know that might sound wild, but you know what else is wild? Quantum physics. It's pretty wild, but I am so into it. You know, everything is interconnected and woven together. So we have this cosmic connection that we can tap into. You know, I feel like our bodies are like a race car, and nobody gave us the manual. Like nobody taught us how to drive stick, and we're just here like clunking through, burning up our transmission trying to figure it out. So I'm gonna give you some pages to that manual today. And last, what if there was a breath, a pranayama, that could calm emotional stress and bring you to neutral? Would that be helpful for your communication? Yeah. Oh, I love it, Andy, Susie Quantum, Susie Q, I love it. That's so cool. Yeah, does that sound good to you, you guys? Is that should we dive in? All right. Before we dive completely in, I'm gonna get real with you here, and you may not like me for saying this, okay? But communication is all you have, and I bet you often suck at it. Now, I'm just saying that because I know I've been through my own, okay? And I imagine most human beings are kind of like me in many ways. So what happens is this translates to pain and suffering and struggle in your life and relationships. But don't worry, you're not alone. This is the plight of most people on the planet. But there is another way, and I am going to show you that today. Yay, and here we go. We're gonna step into new possibility. Today, you'll be introduced to materials supporting you to raise the bar instead of sink with the masses. You'll get to take the power back into your own hands and voice. You'll recognize that you have the ability to respond instead of react, and how that will actually transform your communication and your relationships. And you will get to walk away from today with more confidence, compassion, and able to communicate more effectively for a happy, healthy life. How does that sound? Does that sound amazing? Oh my gosh. You guys, definitely, like, I have packed like 19 years of practice into today. So now check this out. So do you think with having these strategies that it would support more effective communication in your life? And if you even just implemented one of those tools that I talked about, that your life would experience a positive effect? And could you imagine if you implemented all of those, how your life could shift and transform? And what if you continue to learn more tools and guidance? Would communication just keep getting easier and better? And that's really, like I said, that's really all we have. All right. So now we're going to get to our roadmap for today. We're going to dive in. Let's dive in. Just dive right in. That big ocean of life. All right, this is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with clarity, and then we're going to go to understanding. Then we're going to go up to courage, and that's a courageous heart right there, a lion heart. Yeah, we have to have like this lion's courage. And then cosmic connection, where we can like hook in to that cosmic energy and let it support us. And then finally ending with neutrality, because if we don't come to a neutral place and we're always communicating from our high highs and our low lows and our emotions, we're going to create a lot of drama. You know, and I don't know about you, but you know, maybe you are one of those people, and there's nothing wrong if you are a dramatic person, but it's taxing. It's really taxing on your body and your relationships. You know, physiologically, you know, drama and stress, it creates stress, and stress is like the #1 killer. So, all right, we're gonna jump into clarity. Clarity. So it's not necessarily just about what you are communicating, but it's also why and how. So let's talk about that for a moment. Often communication has layers like an onion. So it's really important that you know what these layers are so that you can communicate to get your message across. So imagine having that clarity and confidence when walking into a challenging conversation. Okay, that's what we're going to work on right now. I'm going to give you a little example. So first you have to ask yourself what. So let's start with an example. Okay, just imagine that you have a housemate. It could be your partner, it could be your child, you know, it could be a roommate or a housemate or however that works in your household. And you have an agreement that they do the dishes. And at the end of the day, there's a sink full of dirty dishes and you're pissed off, right? I'd be pissed off. I don't think of sink full of dirty dishes. You know, when we have an agreement that you will clean the dishes, like maybe I cook the meal, you clean the dishes or whatever that is, or I take out the trash. So you ask yourself, okay, so what am I upset about? What? I'm upset they didn't do the dishes. Okay, this is where we go in with that onion layer. You ask yourself, okay, why? Why are you upset about them not doing the dishes? This is where we start to dig a little deeper. And maybe you say to yourself, well, because we have an agreement and they're not doing the dishes. Okay, great. So why is them breaking your agreement upsetting you? Oh, because I don't feel respected. I don't feel like they hear and understand me and they're not respecting our agreement. Okay, that's what you're really communicating about. You're not communicating about the dishes. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it's the dishes are like up here. And what you're really communicating about is down here. It's the root. You know, because if you just yell at someone, just do the dishes, and then they'll probably do it because they don't want to be yelled at or whatever. But if you know why you need them to do the dishes and why it's upsetting you, that's really going to help actually get to that root, get to the root of the issue, and not just up here where the dishes are. Okay, so that's, you ask yourself, you know, what, and then why, and now we get to the how. Now the how we're actually going to touch on a little bit later in the webinar as well. But when you come to speak to someone about something, you want to come from a neutral place, which we're gonna work on that. And you want to come from a place where you can speak from your heart and let the person know that you really want to resolve this, and that your intention is to create harmony. Okay, and we also want to do that. How kind of goes along with when. There's like a subtitle when in here. So you don't want to do it when you're triggered, and you don't want to do it when they're triggered. You want to find a time that's good for both of you where you can just have a talk and not have it be like a talk, you know, but just be like, hey, there's something I really want to talk to you about. When is a good time? And then they say, oh, you know, now is good. It's like, oh, okay, great. And we can talk now. Or it'd be like, you know what, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Great. And so that's a part of that too. Okay, so now can you see how using this formula creates clarity, confidence, and ease of delivery? Asking yourself the what, why, and how. It's gonna make your life so much easier, I promise. My communication went like just skyrocketed when I started to get a little more clarity in why I was communicating. Awesome. Okay, great. So now we are done with clarity. We're going to move on to understanding. This is the first part of understanding. So this is deep listening and reflection statements to clarify understanding. So how many times has someone misunderstood you, or you have misunderstood them? You know, you can just like type it in. Oh yeah, people may make something mean something when they didn't do it, they disrespect me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, countless times, right? And this can cause a ton of trouble in your relationships. It can cause pain and even heartache. Yeah. Now consider a world, and you can have this world. Consider a world where you are able to be clear about what you're saying and about what someone is saying to you, and that you are always understood and they always understand you. It sounds kind of out there, right? But it is possible with this technique. So let's talk about it. Okay, so after you say something to someone, it's real basic. Ask them what they heard. Ask them what they heard, and just be like, you know, like say your thing, and then you say, so what did you hear me say? And you can even be super kind and put your hand on their hand or their shoulder and ask them, like, what did you hear me say? Especially if you can see that they're like having some reaction to it. And then let them tell you. And do not interrupt them at all, even if what they heard was exactly opposite from what you said. Let them speak. It's very important so that they know that you are a person that they can trust to listen to them. So let them say whatever it is. And then if it's not anywhere near what it is that you said, you re-explain it. And then you ask them again what they said. And hopefully at this point it will be clear, but if it's not, you just keep repeating this process with love, patience, and compassion until you're certain that your point has been received accurately. Because that's, that is something that just really messes up a lot of relationships, and even subconsciously. With me and my parents growing up, they said some things that I made it mean something different. And then it became like this glass ceiling in my head until I was like 25 years old. And then I finally got that what they said and what they meant, and what I heard were three different things, right? So great. So that's when you are speaking to someone else. Now let's go to the second part of understanding. The second part of understanding is when someone is saying something to you. After they say something to you, then you get to say, this is what I heard you say. And then repeat what you heard and ask them if it's correct. And then if it's not, let them explain to you again so you can understand them better. And let them know, this is really important. This last part's really important, and you don't have to save it for last. You could do it first. Let them know you want to understand them because they are important to you. Yeah? Like, people need that reassurance, that security, especially when there's heightened energy and emotions and conflict even. Now, how cool is that to have a technique where you never need to assume or guess about what someone means when they were talking? And you always know that your point has come through clear. It's kind of like your very own magic wand. I just like Harry Pottered you and gave you a magic wand. Oh, awesome. Okay, so now, if you are able to, I am actually not going to get on the ground today. I did in my last webinar. I'm trying to go a little bit quicker in this one. So I'm actually not going to get on the ground, but I'm going to ask you to. And here we go. So stretch pose, yeah? Now this is a yoga posture that actually looks deceivingly simple. So if you can, get your computer or your phone down on the ground, lay down on the ground, and well, just lay down and listen to my voice for a minute. You don't have to do it quite yet. I'm going to talk about something for a moment. So have you ever heard that saying, like, she had the guts to stand up and speak out, or he had the guts to jump out of an airplane? The guts, right? So what does that mean? Guts. Courage, right? Where are your guts? They're in your belly, your navel center, which is your power center of courage. Yeah, so it's important to have a strong navel center so people don't walk all over you. When you're trying to communicate, or is anything in life, you need to be able to like walk and be present and have a presence and know that that presence is valuable from the inside out. So we're going to activate the third chakra and ignite your courage right now. Okay, so now if you're on the ground, hands, head, and feet 6 inches off the ground. And you want to make sure there's not any space between your lower back and the ground. So you really want to tip your tailbone up to the sky. And if there is a space, you can go ahead and take your hands and tuck them underneath your bum to help support your lower back. And now we're going to do this with a breath of fire, which is a rapid inhalation and exhalation centered at the navel. And if you're new to this, you can just stick your tongue out and pant like a dog, like this. So you're on the clock. You're going to go a little bit more. I'm just going to show you my belly, how my belly moves when I do breath of fire. So when I inhale, belly expands. When I exhale, belly contracts. And if you are comfortable with doing it, you can just go ahead and close your mouth. Doing it through your nose, sucking the air in and pushing the air out. This is active. This is like double activating your navel center, because you're activating your navel center with the breath and you're acting your navel center with the posture, okay? So you got about 15 more seconds. Now I know you feel like you're about to die, and you are gonna die at some point, but probably not during this posture, so just stay up, okay? For 5, 4, breathe, 3, 2, now take a deep inhale. Hold the breath, squeeze the rectum, sex organs, and navel, squeeze the entire body, hold, squeeze, stay up, and exhale. You can relax down and just lay on your back with your palms up and just allow yourself to feel the energy circulating all throughout your body. Yeah, you can have this feeling every morning. Just 1 minute of stretch pose every morning will absolutely transform your life. And you will get stronger. In 1 week, you will start to notice that you're getting stronger and it's easier, and you can go, maybe at first you could only go like 10 or 20 seconds before it started to get really hard. And then all of a sudden you're going 30 seconds, and then you're going 45. And all of a sudden, like, now you can do a minute, and then you start to do more than a minute. Yeah. Now, when I started doing stretch pose, not only did my lower back pain go away, because I used to have a lot of lower back pain when I was dancing in my teens, and then I started doing yoga in my 20s. And the back pain went away because I had now strengthened my navel center. So now I'm holding myself from here and I'm not putting so much pressure on my back. But I also became more bold, even more bold, because I was already a pretty bold person, but I became even more bold with letting my voice be heard. And I know that this can do the same thing for you too. So stretch pose every morning, 1 minute. Who's going to take that challenge? Who's going to take that homework? Write it in. Go ahead and go in the chat box if you are going to take on the stretch pose challenge. And you might be scared, and that's okay. Awesome. Okay, great. So check it out. I do want to talk about the word try for just a moment. And my favorite way to discuss this is Yoda, because who is like the most wise person in the cosmos? Yoda. Great. Lauren's in too. Awesome. So Yoda has a famous quote. It says, "Do or do not. There is no try." If you try to pick something up, go ahead and try and pick something up. Like you can't try to do it. You either pick it up or you don't. Maybe if something is really heavy, you go to pick it up and you're unable to, but it's not that you tried. You actually went to pick it up. So yeah, I know, Yoda, he's the best. So do or do not, there is no try. So I invite you to just do or do not. Don't try to do it, just do it. Yeah, Nike knew what was up. I love that campaign. I feel like it was a campaign in the 80s or maybe the early 90s. Just do it. That is one of the best ad campaigns ever. All right, so moving along, we are going to go to Buddhi Mudra. And now this is communication hand posture for cosmic connection. Okay, so what we're going to do, as you can see there in the photos, you're going to take your pinky finger. Actually, before we do that, let me give you a little context. So just think about the ancient science of acupuncture and acupressure. It's science, right? And we get to take advantage of that ancient wisdom in modern times today to help our health and vitality. Now, check this out. So mudras, which is another way of saying hand postures, take this also a step further with the cosmic connection. All right. So you get to apply ancient wisdom to access the energy flow of communication so your expression can translate much easier. Does that sound super fantastic or what? So here's a strategy. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna lock down that pinky finger. Now your pinky finger is the finger that's associated with the planet Mercury, which is the planet of, guess what? Communication. So the thumb represents your ego. So what we're doing when we close this circuit here, when we close that circuit, is that we are saying that we are placing our ego under the influence of cosmic communication, of this cosmic energy. And this brings mental clarity and creates the capacity to clearly and intuitively communicate. And it also stimulates psychic development. Now you can do it locking it down. I like to do it locking it down. And then at the end of my meditation, I like to go and just put my tip of my finger. So you can do it both ways. Put your tip of your finger to close that circuit. All right. So that is called, what is it called? Booty Mudra. It's kind of a fun one. Booty. So what if you took a few minutes before an important conversation to prepare yourself doing Booty Mudra? Imagine giving yourself the mental and energetic edge to have success. Let me say that again, because that's what we're doing here. Imagine giving yourself the mental and energetic edge to have success in your conversation, in your presentation, whatever it is that you are bringing out to the world. It's pretty cool, right? And this is definitely a staple in my toolbox, and it goes perfectly along with the next tool that I am about to give you, which is Sitali Pranayam, a calming breath, a cooling breath, So it looks kind of funny, right? I got a little taco tongue there. But let me just give you a little background. So check it out. You know, sometimes when you're feeling emotional upheaval and you need to take it down a notch so that you can actually deal with the problem that's happening or life in general, well, there is a solution for that. I want you to close your eyes and think of a time that you were really emotionally distraught. And get present with that. A time where you were really emotionally distraught. And you had to function at work, or you had to go pick up the kids from school, or you in some way needed to be functional in society when really you were not in a functional place at all. Do you have this memory? Is it clear? Okay, now imagine that instead of having to stuff it down and put on your game face, you were actually able to physically, mentally, and emotionally cool down so that you could function, relieving the stress instead of hiding it. That's useful, right? Okay, so go ahead and open your eyes and stick your tongue out. Okay, so just gonna talk about this for a moment. Sometimes in Kundalini Yoga, we do weird stuff. We do odd things, and I love it because it gets you out of your ego. It gets me out of my ego. When we do things like stick out our tongue and make a little taco tongue, you know, like kids do that. You know, adults aren't usually like running around, you know, making silly faces. I mean, sometimes we do. Hopefully we are, because that might be more fun in life. But just allow yourself to like let go of whatever your ego might be thinking, like that this is silly or stupid or why am I doing this? Because this is one of those pages in that manual to your race car of your body, okay? I'm giving you a manual right now. So stick your tongue out, make a little taco tongue, and then, I know some people say it's hereditary, either you can or you can't do it, but that's BS. I'm here to tell you that's BS because I taught myself how to do it. My best friend, when I was a little girl, could do it and I couldn't, and I freaking sat in a mirror and taught myself how to do it. So let that actually inspire you for all in your life, everywhere in your life. Don't let your mind or other people tell you that you can't do something. Just go for it. Okay. Don't subscribe to limitations. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna inhale through that taco tongue like a straw. So you're gonna sip in the air long, full, deep into your belly, not your chest, into your belly. So big breath in, and then you're gonna close your mouth and you're gonna exhale through your nose. And you're gonna repeat that process. In through your taco tongue. And out through your nose. Good. And continue this pattern of inhaling through your tongue and exhaling through your nose. And just go ahead and close your eyes if you're not driving. And give yourself a little break here. Yeah, inhaling through the taco tongue. Exhaling. And you can gaze at your brow point known as the third eye, stimulating your intuition. You can also move your attention to the top of your head, your crown chakra, your 10th gate. Or you could just relax your eyes with your eyes shut. It's up to you. You have lots of options. Just pick one, and whichever one you pick is absolutely perfect. We'll do this for a few more moments. Inhaling. Exhaling. And keeping the spine nice and tall. And let's do one last one together. And exhale and gently open your eyes and look who our friend here is, supporting you and doing Sitali Pranayam. Isn't she cute? Now, if she can do it, you can do it. Awesome. All right. So now consider having to never stuff your emotions again, because now you have a tool to diffuse them in a healthy way. Emotion, it's energy in motion. What happens is when we stuff it down, we don't let it move. Sitali Pranayam, this cooling breath, is a way to actually let it move through you so that energy in motion, that emotion, can continue to move and it doesn't get stuck inside of you. Now, imagine being able to approach whatever problem that you're dealing with from a calm, neutral place, because that's where solutions occur. That's where you get to have a resolution. It's priceless, right? Oh, so good. Now, we have finished our roadmap today. Clarity, understanding, courage, cosmic connection, and neutrality. And this is what we learned today. Little technical snafu. We learned the formula for clarity on what, why, and how. We also learned deep listening and reflection technique. Remember that one? We also learned stretch pose, ignite your courage yoga posture. Buddhi Mudra for harnessing cosmic connection. And then last, Sitali Pranayam for a neutral mind. That is what we covered today. I hope you had your notebook and pen out. I forgot to remind you that in the beginning. Okay, so now I have a few questions for you. Was our time together enjoyable to you? Did you have a good time? Let me know. You can go ahead and type that in. And did you find the content valuable? Has this been valuable for you? Do you feel more confident in your ability to communicate more effectively now that you have these techniques? Awesome. Yes, very informative. Good. I see the comments coming in. Are you excited about implementing what you learned today in your life and seeing how that works for you? Awesome. Yes. Yay. Victory. We are a success. And is it fair to say using these techniques would give you a significant edge in your communication and self-expression? Awesome. All right. So now, Andy, I'll wrap my tongue around communicating that. We got a little jokester there. I love it. Awesome. Okay, so now I have absolute confidence that you could take everything we covered here today and on your own, put it into action and get results that you previously thought were impossible. Like, you can really change your relationships with this information. Absolutely confident of that. And I am certain, just with the information we covered on this webinar today, left on your own with your own resources, time, and effort, that you can make a go at this in a way that most people will never be able to, because they don't have this information. So you get to be the leader now. It's really exciting. And if that were your only option, it would be absolutely worthy to pursue. But what if there was another option, an option that would allow us, you and me, to go at this together? A chance to go deeper than we can in one measly hour on a webinar, connecting just one time. What if I played an active role in your results and took responsibility in your success and had an obligation to your outcome? How would that make things different? And if you have an idea of how that might make things different, you can go ahead and write it in the chat. Do you think that in this situation, I could empower you with any and all of my resources to stack the deck in your favor to make success inevitable for you? If I had life hacks, support systems, and additional insights that go even deeper and more thoroughly into getting you the personal results you desire and want for your life and absolutely deserve. If I had such an option for you, would you love to hear more about it and what it could do for you? All right, so here, this is my gift to you. I actually meant to say that in the beginning. I meant to tell you that I had a gift for you, and I totally forgot. So here it is. It is with great pleasure that I'm extremely excited to offer you my Vision Breakthrough Call. Now, this is a complimentary gift so that you have the opportunity to discover the bigger picture and recognize the next step to take to get what you truly want. All right, so the Vision Breakthrough Call. This will be a complimentary 40-minute Vision Breakthrough Call valued at $200. Now, are you tired of the same old struggles? Let's change that. And on our call, what we'll do is we'll create your roadmap to navigate life with clarity, confidence, and self-expression. Now, that is priceless. Now, you might be wondering, Susie Q, how do I get a piece of that? Well, I am going to pop this in the chat box right now. Boom. You just can click on that link. I don't think you have to copy paste it. I think you can just directly click on that link because technology is amazing when it works. So you can go to the chat box now for the link to receive your gift. All right, but we're gonna do better than that, okay? Guess what? Best of all, by signing up now, you're gonna get some extra special bonuses, because who doesn't love bonuses? I love bonuses. You'll also receive a mantra for removing blocks. I'm gonna give you an audio and I'm gonna give you a PDF. This is a specific mantra that is like ancient sounds that help remove blocks, that help the flow. You can use it with communication, you can use it with self-expression, you can use it in whatever way you intend to remove a block. Great. Yeah, Andy, you actually booked a different call. So you could book another one. Awesome. So, and then you'll get a Kundalini warm up series video, which is things to warm up your body so that you can get into a meditative space easier. Now, if you are one of the first 3 people to sign up right now, you will receive a bonus 20 minutes added to your call for a total call time of 1 hour, which makes the value of your call $300. You will also receive a special breathing exercise PDF to help you cultivate a clear and focused mind. So if you are one of the first 3 people to do that right now, you're going to get those 2 extra bonuses. Plus, you're going to receive all of the other bonuses. The mantra for removing blocks, audio and PDF, the Kundalini warm-up series. You get those 20 extra minutes, because I find that a lot of times, you know, we get to the end of 30 or 40 minutes and there's more to excavate, there's more to do. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to have a little more. And then you'll get the pranayama for a clear, action-oriented mind PDF. Yeah. All right. So don't wait for another communication breakdown to happen. Let me help you now. It's my honor and my pleasure to serve you. Okay, and I do just want to say, now let's close with some Q&A. Thanks so much for joining me, but if you have any questions, if there's any specific communication breakdown that you've had that you would like a little, you know, on-the-spot coaching on, we can do that. Where is the link? All right, I'll put it in again. I'm also going to go and throw in the Speaker Secrets link just in case you missed. You probably did see some of those, but in case you missed, where is it? Here it is. You missed any of those, the John Gray or the Alison Armstrong. And then I also have Sarah Payton is another free episode that you can see. So if you want to go ahead and re-see those, you can do that there. Awesome. Okay, great. Looks like. And any burning questions before we close for today? All right. Well, it looks like you guys are good for today. And I'm so honored that you came on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see my face all big again. Hi. It's great to see you. Well, I wish I could see you, but it's great to have you here, and I'm very honored that I could bring this to you today. And please feel free to email me and let me know what your favorite part of this webinar was. If there's something that I didn't talk about that you would like to know about, because I want to create content that's really valuable for you and relevant for you in your life. All right, so thanks so much for coming to the webinar, Discover Your Voice and Be Understood. And I am so honored to have you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.